No government ought to be without censors, and where the press is free no one ever will. No government ought to be without censors, and where the press is free no one ever will. All, too, will bear in mind this sacred principle, that though the will of the majority is in all cases to prevail, that will to be rightful must be reasonable, that the minority possess their equal rights, which equal law must protect, and to violent power is not alluring to pure minds. It is error alone which needs the support of government. Truth can stand by itself. To compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. I hope our wisdom will grow without power, and teach us that the less we use our power the greater it will be. It is incumbent on every generation to pay its own debts as it goes, a principle which if acted on would save the one-half the wars of the world. Experience has shown that even under the best forms of government those entrusted with power have, in time and by slow operations, perverted it into tyranny. If we can prevent the government from wasting the labors of people under the pretense of taking care of them, they might just become happy. The end of democracy and the defeat of the American Revolution will occur when the government falls into the hands of lending institutions and moneyed corporations. Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, in a state of civilization, it expects to what never was and never will be. I was bold in the pursuit of knowledge, never fearing to follow truth and reason whatever results they led, and bearding every authority which stood in their way. To penetrate and dissipate these clouds of darkness, the general mind must be strengthened by education. Where the press is free and every man is able to read, all is safe. Were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers, or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate to prefer the latter. Enlighten the people generally, and tyranny and oppressions of body and mind will vanish like evil spirits at the dawn of day. Question with boldness even the existence of a God, because, if there be one, he must more approve of the homage of reason, than that of blindfolded fear. Difference of opinion is advantageous in religion. The several sects perform the office of censor, over each other. Were it left to me to decide whether we should have a government without newspapers, or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate to prefer the latter. Enlighten the people generally, and tyranny and oppressions of body and mind will vanish like evil spirits at the dawn of day. Question with boldness even the existence of a God, because, if there be one, he must more approve of the homage of reason, than that of blindfolded fear. Difference of opinion is advantageous in religion. The several sects perform the office of censor, over each other. It does me no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no God. If God is just, I tremble for my country. Our civil rights have no dependence on our religious opinions any more than our opinions in physics or geometry. The way to silence religious disputes is to take no notice of them. I never will, by any word or act, bow to the shrine of intolerance or admit a right of inquiry into the religious opinions of others. In every country and every age, the priest had been hostile to liberty. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you. In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. Peace and friendship with all mankind is our wisest policy, and I wish we may be permitted to pursue it. Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. Our greatest happiness does not depend on the condition of life in which chance has placed us, but is always the result of a good conscience, good health, occupation, and freedom in all just pursuits. Delay is preferable to error.